Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Killing a princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Silently continue to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
What? No way. Why would you even think that?
That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Tighten your grip.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
I'm not dropping the blade.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Squint at the princess while holding on to the blade.
You stare at the princess, squinting. She squints back. The two of you are going to do this forever, aren't you?
Squint at the princess even harder.
You squint even harder. So does she. At least nobody's dying right now. You're going to have to make a choice. You can't keep squinting forever. Eventually, someone is going to have to blink.
Slay the princess.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurt! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Finish the job.
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
This was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, The Adversary.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
But I already slew the princess. Sure, she killed me, but I definitely got her. Why am I here again?
I can assure you that you didn't slay her, and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. That's fine. It doesn't matter if he can hear us. The only thing that matters is marching up to that cabin and winning. That's the spirit. There's no point in squabbling when the real threat is just up that hill. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Lying and cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a fight.
Are you sure about that? The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of lying in. It was to give you some broadly applicable advice. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Ever. Are we clear?
Crystal, let's just get on with it already.
The cabin is tighter than its exterior would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your destination. The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Enter the basement.
No knife this time. Right then, fisticuffs it is. Probably more fair to her anyway. Wouldn't want to feel like we cheated our way to a win.
As long as you can still get the job done. And don't forget that the blade is waiting for you upstairs if you happen to change your mind. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and oppressive, with an almost sulphuric odor to it. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening.
Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, a large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. Looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us. But no little knife this time, huh? Ugh, I hope you're not just here to chat. I've been itching for a rematch.
I haven't decided what I'm doing yet.
And why not? You decided what to do with me quickly enough last time. Are you scared I'm going to kill you again? Maybe you're worried I'll put you down for good this time. If you want to talk, I guess I can talk. But you should come a little closer first.
Alright, fine. If you're not going to address it, I will. What? You've already met the princess has already met you. The two of you killed each other. Did you think you'd be able to just openly talk about all that without me noticing? Maybe. You did seem to just gloss over the whole thing for a while. Of course I glossed over it. When a colleague says something insane, glossing over it is one of the best ways to stay focused and keep moving forward. But enough is enough. I believe you. And that's all the more reason to take this seriously. You don't know that whatever brought the two of you back to life isn't a fluke. And beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember anything that happened last time? Me. I don't remember. Are you okay? Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die.
Just because it bothers you, I'm gonna take this even less seriously. You don't know the depths of my empathy.
You're joking, right? I'm just going to pretend that you're joking.
Yeah, you better be joking. We can't win unless you take this seriously.
I actually am just here to chat.
Why? You didn't want to talk last time. Are you scared I'm going to kill you again?
Step closer.
You take a cautious step towards the princess. Unarmed. I wish I could believe you know what you're doing, but you clearly don't. You stop a few feet short of her reach, her chains taut as she stares down at you. She's a lot bigger than I thought she was.
Why do you sound so scared? We can take her.
Well, what do you want? Because every second we waste talking is a second we could spend killing each other instead.
I'm not going to fight you.
What are you trying to do? Do you think pacifism is going to win her over? Because it won't.
Right? This isn't fun, this isn't interesting, it's pathetic and cowardly and boring.
Is that so? Let's see if you still feel that way once I start beating you.
She's still bound by those chains. All we have to do is take a step back and she won't be able to do anything to us. All that does is put the two of you at another impasse. You can't stall forever.
Do you really think those chains will stop her? She's not the type to hand out empty threats. She's honest. It's what makes her so interesting.
But she has to be bluffing, right? If she isn't bluffing, then why is she still... You step back as she steps forward, her bindings creaking ominously. And then they snap. It was only a matter of time, but she's loose. Dear Lord, what do we do? Oh, if only there was some sort of weapon you could use to fight a world-ending monstrosity. I wonder where you might find one of those.
Exactly. Just do what I've been telling you to do since the second we got here. Take the blade, fight her, kill her, and win.
This doesn't change anything. Refuse to fight.
I suppose there isn't your numb body pew, is there? You stand your ground as the princess thunders across the basement floor, her shoulders tucked low as her fierce, unblinking gaze locks onto yours. You don't see the impact, and you can't say for sure if you even feel it, but you hear your bones splinter, and you can feel your feet leave the floor as you're hurled bodily into the unflinching stone wall.
We're fine.
Are we fine? Are we really? No, you're obviously not fine. Your body is broken.
Enough games. Go upstairs, pick up that knife, and fight me.
I can't get up.
Stop moping, you're fine. Now get up.
What are you made of? Tissue paper? I didn't hit you that hard.
You might as well just kill me, because you're not going to change my mind.
Is this a trick? Are you tricking me? Because why would you? Why wouldn't you? Ah!
The princess's shoulders tense with fury as she storms towards you. You can see her face flush, her knuckles going white as she clenches her fists, her entire body trembling with a burning rage.
Can't believe you're making me watch this.
Fine. If you want to die like a pathetic little worm, you can die like a pathetic little worm.
I guess I'll see you all next time. She reaches down and grabs you by the throat, lifting your limp form and slamming it forcefully against the wall. Her eyes twitch as her grip tightens around your neck. She sure is taking her time, isn't she?
Why? Why are you letting me do this? Why are you making me do this? Why won't you fight back?
Because death doesn't matter anymore, does it? Fighting, not fighting. What does any of it mean if it all ends the same way?
It matters. I like fighting you.
Her grip hardens. You feel a horrific pop in your neck. She releases you, your numb body crumpling to the stone floor as your vision starts to fade.
What am I supposed to do without you?
I guess I'll see you all next time. I can say that now, right? We're dead?
Great. I can't wait to be stuck in this useless body all over again.
I won't be seeing you, but I suppose something like me will. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 3: The Fury.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path... Oh, I've heard this one before. Let me guess. There's a cabin and a princess, and you want us to get rid of her for you. But it's not gonna happen. At least not on my watch.
Oh, you bloody fool. Am I the only one here who actually listened to her? She wants a fight. And we're not gonna give it to her. It's funnier if we don't. You think what happened last time was funny? I thought we were breaking a cycle of violence. I thought we were practicing pacifism in the face of mortal peril. I thought we were being brave. Heroic, even. We're a deep and multifaceted being. Who's to really say that your thing and my thing can't peacefully coexist? I'm just saying, doing it for a laugh takes away from the moment. It was a good moment. Oh, will both of you just shut up? Make me rage, boy. Well, this is just great. Let me cut to the chase. Clearly, you've already been here. Yeah, you think? What does here even mean, though? You've told us about the path of the princess and all of that already, but this is a very different path than the last one. That's a good point. Everything here is a little off. Yes, precisely. And if you'd given me 2 seconds to finish my thought, I would have said that. Oh, you're actually letting me talk now. Great. If you've already been here, it means you've seen things you aren't supposed to have seen, and you know things that you aren't supposed to know. This doesn't look like a path in the woods if reality seems distorted. It's because reality is distorted. So you knew this could happen. You knew we'd be able to restart like this. I know all sorts of things, which is why you should listen to me. That's not really an answer. Look, if the world around you is changing, especially all the way out here, then that means you're nearing the point of no return. Whatever happens next, that's it. There won't be any more do-overs. So you'd better take things seriously.
You said yourself that you know more than you're letting on. If you want me to go to the cabin, then you'd better tell us everything.
I can't. Anything I say at this point is far more likely to accelerate the unraveling of this place than it is to actually help you do your job. In fact, I probably shouldn't have even said that. I trust that if you've been here before, it means you know how dangerous she is, and that you know I'm not lying to you about her. Really? That's it? That's all we're getting out of you? If he thinks reality is about to end, how about we just let it happen? Wouldn't that be interesting? I think that would be interesting. Do you actually want to see the end of everything, or do you just not want to fight her? Bit of both. I get it. You're conflicted. You've been through a lot, but I really have to be firm here. I will tell you one thing, which is that even now you are capable of stopping her and saving the world from ruin. You always have been, and you always will be. Do with that what you will.
No matter what happens next, it seems like our answers are at the cabin. We might as well see this through. Proceed to the cabin.
Good, we're all on the same page. It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up at the cabin on the hill. You'll find the princess within, as I'm sure you already know. End her. That's it? No final words of advice? I'd rather not waste any more time. I'm sure that any advice I'd give at this point is something you've already heard. Don't be so hard on yourself. We all wind up in creative ruts now and then. I'm sure if you put your mind to it, you could think of something worth telling us.
Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is a place that feels long forgotten. There was once an elegance to its construction, carved marble columns holding a high arched roof, vaulted windows letting in the weak starlight. But that is how it was. Now there is a growth that has overtaken it. A viscous fluid seeps from cracks in the stone walls, and it congeals into chaotic streaks of writhing nerves and wet clumps of living meat. That's horrible.
I think it's kind of nice. Makes the room feel alive, doesn't it?
The only furniture of note is a pulsating pedestal, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
We'll need it if we want to do things right. I say we leave it to rust.
Let's not make the same mistake twice. We could have won if we had it last time. Take it.
How are we supposed to get to the basement when there's no door? There's just a mirror where the door used to be.
A mirror? There is no mirror. There's the pedestal, the blade sitting on the pedestal, and the door to the basement.
Oh, are we playing a game where we lie to people about things? That sounds fun. I respect and admire all of you, and I'm so happy to be here.
What?
There's clearly a mirror.
I don't know what to tell you. There isn't a mirror because I would know if there was a mirror. You're either seeing things or you're confused on the definitions of door and mirror. Or you're seeing things. That seems far more likely. What are you trying to say exactly? It means you're hallucinating. It's in our way. Let's just smash it.
Approach the mirror.
You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it. As if you don't see it. You really don't, do you? How strange. It's a bit grimy.
Why don't we wipe it clean?
Wipe what clean? Are you still on about that mirror? It's not real. I'd know about it if it were real.
No, we can't doubt our eyes like that. It has to be real. Does it matter if it's actually real or not? Talking about it gets under his skin. That's all that matters. We should talk about it even more.
Let's just smash it and get it over with. I'm ready to get violent.
We won't be able to see what's in there if we smash it.
Do whatever you want with it. The mirror isn't real, so how you handle it doesn't matter, aside from wasting dangerous amounts of time.
Smash it.
You bring your fist crashing down against the door leading to the basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the stone floor, its ancient hinges moaning as it reveals the dim path ahead.
Why am I not surprised?
You step forward into the darkness. The stairs leading down to the basement are at once both narrow and grandiose. A high-vaulted ceiling stretches up into a gloom beyond your sight, while walls wet with tumorous growths press in uncomfortably at your sides. You feel both unprotected and trapped, at once exposed and claustrophobic. The air is thick, its odor an oppressive violence, the metallic scent of fresh blood twisting with the nauseating embers of charred remains.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Her voice, a bellowing rage, roars up the stairs.
So you've returned after denying me the salvation of combat? Are you here to gloat? Are you here to mock what I've become? Do you think that if you let me kill you enough times, I'll suddenly soften and repent for sins that live solely in your head? Well, we've tried that, haven't we? Now come down and see what your refusal has done to me. See how much you can bear to witness the consequences of your actions.
Did you hear that?
Oh, sounds like we got to her last time. Let's keep pushing, see what else we can make happen.
Continue down the stairs.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. The chamber's walls are painted in blood, a deep, sickening red that drips down in clotted streams onto the charred corpses that make up its floor. This place reeks of torment, of ripped skin and burning bone. The princess stands in its center, muscles flayed and bare and weeping, draped in a tattered dress of her own skin. Her heart beats from its place in her open chest.
Do you know what I'm going to do to you?
There's not so much a moment of hesitation before she steps forward. Her chains pull taut, holding fast as she strains against them. The cuff around her wrist digs deeper into her skin. Blood drips from the place where metal meets flesh. And then, with a nauseating sound, the skin tears. It plops to the ground, and she pulls her red, glistening arm free from her bindings. She is loose, and she is coming for you. She wants us to be afraid because she wants us to think she can make us suffer. Don't give her the satisfaction. That's right, no fear. She's bigger than the last time, but she's pulling herself apart. She's practically done most of the work for us. We don't even have a weapon. It doesn't matter. I refuse to go out any way that isn't kicking and screaming.
What happened to you?
Time happened. You happened. But none of that matters. We're together again, and I'll have what you denied me.
She bounds across the room, her fists ready, her heart set upon your destruction. With a horrifying squelch, you are unwound.
I hope you weren't planning on dying. We're going to make this last forever. Huh. I feel cold. I've never felt cold before.
True to her word, you did not die by her hand, nor will you ever. It's time for you to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
It's gonna be okay. Just trust me. We've been here before, and you always get scared.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing. Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
Approach the mirror. You approach the mirror.
I don't like that silence.
The voices feel small, distant as you approach. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. Mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You've grown. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. Proceed to the cabin. Approach her.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
What does it feel like to change like this?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
Do you have any thoughts on this vessel?
This one is desecration. She placed the weight of her agony on you, yet it is she who unwound herself. But there is passion and empathy in her misery. She will make for a burning heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally found peace.
What do you feel about me? These vessels I bring you. I've hurt them.
There is a hurt that dwells in them, but they are not me. They are thoughts and perspectives. They are feelings that inform my being. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I cannot be as I was before. There are new spaces that I must fill.
I am ready to go back.
I await your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Everything goes dark, and you die.